Oh, I wish you guys could smell these beautiful flowers on these ornamental crabapple trees that are growing in the backyard. They're so sweet. They're so awesome right now. I just needed a couple minutes of your time as an introduction to the June readings for all signs. It's my pleasure to bring them to you once again. I hope you enjoy them. But I had to throw in a little just disclaimer saying that, yeah, the readings are for entertainment purposes only. If you have situations, maybe you need to go see a doctor of some fashion, this is not to be taken as medical advice. This is to be used for entertainment purposes. So as the channel description says, be enlightened, be entertained, but most of all, be yourself. If you are needing a little bit of extra helping hand, please go and seek professional assistance from somebody that can get you to a place where you're feeling good and strong and as beautiful as these crabapple trees are. Okay, thanks guys. Enjoy your readings.
Hello, lions and lionesses. How are you roaring about? If you are Leo, your last name doesn't even have to be DiCaprio. You could still just be Leo. And if you are Leo, whether sun sign, moon sign, ascendant, here while cross-watching for a Leo, you are in the right moment in space and time. And thank you for being here with me in this moment in space and time. That was a long, awkward introduction to your June reading, Leo. But I truly want to thank you for being here. And sometimes I go to great lengths to put a smile on your face before we get into the reading. And we get our first flipper. We got Queen of Cups jumped out of the deck to say, all right, is this going to be a very intuitive time of year for you, Leo? You guys feeling like you have all the answers, that you're thinking 2 steps ahead of the crowd when it comes to certain things? Or are you maybe just very fond of dealing with someone with a lot of water in their charts, albeit a Scorpio, a Cancer, or a Pisces? Could be the situation surrounding some of you. Good thing we have a flipper, because I sure wasn't very funny on the start of that reading. But you know what? It's all worth it, because I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you guys are connecting with these readings. I want to thank you for viewing them. I want to wish you all the best in your journey. I hope you're all in a good place of abundance, clarity. I feel, I just feel you guys are like really intuitive, really kind of on fire intuitively this for this month. So we'll see what the cards have to say. I don't know what else I could jibber jabber on about until we get all the cards down and have a look at the hidden and the stuck energies for Leo. Any healing messages, please set your intention, and we'll look at 9 of Wands as the overall energy. Fighting the good fight, they call this. Running the marathon, making sure you're there at the end of the race. I see a lot of you putting in a long, hard day at work, and then, still having a smile on your face, or still having enough energy to go and do what's important with you. 9 of Wands is not necessarily generally like a positive or a negative card. It always needs to be applied to the situation. Sometimes I get a feeling with 9 of Wands, like people are depleted energy or stressed out. In this case, though, when I see 9 of Wands here, I see the feeling is that of like a warrior, the hero of the story, the protagonist. That person that, the star of the show sort of thing. People are relying upon you. People are always checking in with you. And that reliance, I have a feeling a lot of people may be relying on you. And, at times it can be depleting your energy, but at other times it keeps you like bullseye focused. It keeps you like on top of your game. And I think, Leo, part of you actually enjoys being like kind of like stretched in 6 different directions and like feeling like at the end of the day I couldn't just take one more step. But you're very good at giving yourself a pat on the back and say, you know what, I did it. If not just for one more day, I did it. I made all the people around me that much happier and that much better off for the effort that I've given. So as long as it's not at the risk of your own happiness or running yourself ragged, it's not that bad of an energy to have. As long as you are aware and you're seeing the bigger picture, it's okay to be the hero. It's okay to be the one taking on 50 bad guys at once while everyone kind of cowers behind you. And that kind of energy with 9 of Wands. It's not saying that it's easy. I'm not belittling it or sugarcoating it. For some of you, I feel like it's a real uphill climb. a bit of an uphill battle. Sometimes you get in some unlucky bounces, as they say in the sports world. As we apply it to like real life, it just means sometimes like it's just one other thing that just doesn't quite go your way, or you get one extra snippet of like bad news, or you just miss the ticket window at the DMV by like 2 minutes, and they close the wicket down on your fingers, and you're like, oh my god, if I hadn't have stopped and like done that, hold that door open for that lady, I would have made it on time. That kind of energy. So that's just the universe being creative in terms of refining you and making you smarter, stronger, happier, and an overall better person. So not too bad. Nine of Wands, overall energy. It's a struggle, but the struggle is real. We all know that, right? Life's about hard work, isn't it? And in grounding energy, we have Wheel of Fortune. So the hope is that some of you are not feeling too trapped in this, okay? And I feel that there is risk. Mental processes going on. Some of you feel maybe that you are fated for a life of this, that maybe you've done something that incurred some sort of dharma or dharmic cyclical pattern that has got you caught in this, that there are forces at work that are beyond your control that have got you doing this, when really it's your own heart and it's your own generosity that maybe sometimes keeps you stretched so super thin. And it's not that it's prevented you from like, going out or expanding into your higher self or your truer self. We're just looking at the mundane things now. Maybe it's kind of like vacation to the Bahamas seems like a pipe dream right now because we haven't been able to sock away enough money, or it just seems like, there's more costs that are coming that are being incurred than, what we're able to bring in day to day. So it's like, we're wondering, will I ever be, a successful singer-songwriter, or am I meant to drive the minivan to soccer practice, for the rest of my life? But the remembrance with the Wheel of Fortune here is like there's a law of ebb and flow that goes on here. There's nothing like chapters in life, right? If we're too caught up, say, I'm going to take somebody, a Leo that's tuned in here, that's sort of maybe in their early 30s, for example. Maybe they got a couple kids. Maybe they are doing the soccer mom thing, and maybe they're not seeing the appreciation that is due to them, or they're not receiving the credit for their hard work. Maybe they're failing to see that one day they will be 55 and the children will be gone from the house. The vision hasn't been expanded that greatly yet, so that they would know, well, maybe instead of like getting away to the Bahamas for 4 days and then having to return to a crappy Monday morning, maybe what happens is we put in 10 or 15 more years of this hardcore, and then we go to the Bahamas for like 6 months or a year or something like that, where we're going to like take the micro and expand it into the macro and see, okay, the people that are relying upon us now, they definitely need us. The time will come, and we should start planning for it almost now, Leo, where you're socking those dimes and those quarters away and nobody even has to know about it. Your kid, your significant other, nobody needs to know about it. And then eventually one day you're just going to like dump that bottle of coins out on the table and be like, I got enough to peace out, right? And then kids, you look after the house. You're old enough now, right? That sort of thing. But that's sort of the grander analogy of saying, whatever we're into on the day-to-day level and we're fighting the good fight, let's make sure that when we're taking like a muffin break, I don't know, a muffin break, whatever it is you do when you step aside to reward yourself for those 2 to 3 minutes, that you are getting your mind into that place of expansion, knowing that it's like, it's not forever, and that it's not because of bad dharma that you're feeling stuck and overworked and overstretched now. It's because people are relying on you and you're creating good karma for yourself for a better future down the road. Okay? I hope that made sense to you guys, but that's what I got with seeing that Wheel of Fortune down there in terms of your grounding as well. If you're really struggling, I want to say, let's take an hour in the morning or an hour at night, whichever serves you best, and let's make sure we're regimenting, we're like doing our diet budgeting, okay? How almost like calorie counting type stuff, whatever practice, whether it's stretching, yoga, whatever it is that you can do to get into your body and feel your higher self. Let's make sure that we're doing that for grounding, so that we aren't like feeling victim versus escapism mentality going on the day-to-day level, that it's about, living in the moment and doing it because it's real, okay? All right, leave it be. 10 of Wands, yeah, holy wands, and this one's reversed, so it's going to be a bit. I was on the right track saying it's going to be a bit before we can let down some of these things that have got us not really in a place where it's not that you don't want to be doing it, because I see like maybe some of you are actually sort of in some sort of way kind of getting off on being that person that like works so hard and gets things done for other people. But at some point in time, part of you is realizing that maybe not 100% of us wants to be doing that 100% of the time. We may have dreams of like that muffin break. And that could mean like just going and being creative, going and letting our hair down somewhere, or if you're a guy, proverbially letting your hair down and just shaking a leg, getting it all loosened up, right, in some sort of healthy way. So if you can't get away to the Bahamas for 4 days, maybe what it is calling up a good friend and saying, you know what, can you take the kids to soccer practice, or do you think you could find an activity for these people or somewhere else for these people to go so that I can get 2 or 3 hours going on in a spa or something, just, or even if you turn your bathroom into that candlelit, steam enjoyed place of just bliss, where we're shutting off all the technology, we're shutting the world off for a little while so that we come into that gap, that place of stillness, where there's no outside stimulation. All there is yourself and your prana, and that is going to be like that strength renewal that needs to come as well, okay? Ten of Wands energy as well. Sometimes for people in partnerships and relationships, some of you might even be too tired to be engaged in your lovemaking, and that could be stressing some people out in your situation or around you, or potentially yourself. Some of you may be seeing this is single parenting type stuff here now, right? I get it. I totally can empathize with this one. You're a single parent, right? And then the kids go to bed, you give them all that hard work. Now, who can you turn to talk about your day? Who can you turn to get that, 10-minute massage? And sometimes it's just got to be you, and that's a really tough energy to be facing, Leo. I totally understand that, right? But you just got to remember, it's not going to be that way forever. And you know what? Who knows your body better than you? Who can help yourself out when it comes to like knowing what muscles to stretch at the right time so that you can feel ultimately relaxed better than you? So self-love, let's practice that. Just in being, so to speak, all right? And that's because there's some challenge there in those lower chakras. When it comes to eating right, feeling healthy, you guys are going 100 miles a minute, I feel, and it's like, who's recharging the batteries? Nobody's checking the level of fuel in the vehicle, to make sure we're not running out of gas and that we're going to be able to make it till Friday when the weekend comes and maybe grandma comes for a visit and can take the kids or whatever it might be, okay? Let's move on. Queen of Pentacles in your solar plexus chakra, gut instinct. Now, this could be, let's externalize this card at first to look at people in our lives. Somebody very practical, somebody with a lot of earth in their charts. This could be a Capricorn or a Virgo or a Taurus that you know or that you deal with. It's not gender specific in queens and kings and kings and queens. This person generally I feel is a helper. This is someone here that can benefit you, a friend that could be relied on as long as you see them and trust them. There may be some trust issues surrounding this person, but I think that it's more so you being suspicious than this person being untrustworthy. They may just present that way of being untrustworthy, and I'm not sure why that I'm getting that from Queen of Pentacles. Normally I don't get that feeling from that card, but here with the Queen of Pentacles, it's just saying that there's somebody like maybe you're needing to borrow or ask them for some help, but you're worried. That's what it is. You're worried about asking them for help because you feel like you may be indebted to them and you don't want to like be one down on a favor to somebody because you know that like the moment that person gets like this, it's going to be like, you owe me. You said that, remember when I did that for you, and you just kind of don't want that energy being stuck to you. And I totally get that one as well, Leo. But the feeling I have is that this person is in your peripheral, like you kind of know them. They're kind of on the outskirts of what you do, but they're there kind of like as a helper. And I mentioned grandma coming in, and maybe you're worried about stressing this person out as well if you're wanting to release some of your stress. Maybe Queen of Pentacles here could be just what the doctor ordered. Maybe this is the person that if they're not, taking some of the stress off their hands, maybe they can throw potentially a little bit of money at a particular problem and make that problem go away for a little while. And I don't know what that means, what it applied to your situation, because it borders on internalizing this card again, where there may be certain things that maybe we were trying to throw money at a situation or a problem to make it go away, but it just like didn't work, or it's not working. Okay, she's really tricky to read into right there with this Queen of Pentacles up in solar plexus. All right. And then this also could be a lover. This could be somebody that, like, if you are in doing the domestic thing, a family life with somebody, maybe this is somebody here where it's like one person is towing all the weight, and maybe the other person is just like completely at work or being worked up, right? But more so, I see this being a friend. I see this being someone on the periphery, someone looking in at your situation and being like, my God, I really should help out. But they haven't asked me for help. They haven't swallowed their pride and asked me for help yet. So I don't know if I'm overstepping my boundaries. It could be like mother-in-law type feeling or father-in-law type feeling, very potentially with that sort of thing, especially if we're looking with kids being involved in that sort of thing. If this is a girlfriend, I think it definitely applies as somebody like we're just not too sure if we want to like ask for help and then owe a favor because maybe we know what this person can truly be like. Okay, just all clarifiers for days on this. Now we've got King of Wands here. Okay, maybe so. There's a manager here. Maybe you're just needing to ask for an accommodation at work. Maybe things have gotten a little bit far out of hand where you're worried about asking work to accommodate you to have a better work-life balance so that you're not feeling this could have some mental health issues tied to it. You're just feeling so stressed out, run down, some anxiety, and maybe hopefully your work can be flexible enough to say, okay, you know what, take a long weekend here, try and get back on your feet, or, take some time, whatever you need to do, an extra hour in the morning. We can adjust your schedule. Don't be afraid to have these conversations to see what these people could do, right? King of Wands may be very well there to help you. And if these are your partners, right, if this is you and King of Wands, maybe you know what it is that you need to do in terms of like particularly managing some sort of situation so it's better suited to you and it's not feeling so out of your control, so it's no longer a loose end. And King of Wands here is showing up here as tying up of loose ends. But I'm seeing this more people in your environment. We're looking at help from maybe in-laws, help potentially from work, accommodating you in this situation. Use the resources around you. Use the people. Don't be so full of pride, Leo, that you can't reach out, right? But maybe you don't need to, right? We saw this as energy. Maybe some of you just won't do that, right? But the gut instinct is saying there are people that are there or looking in at your situation. Maybe you're not seeing what other people are seeing, right, Leo? Maybe they're seeing the amount of wear and tear and stress on you where you're like, I'm fine, I'm doing okay. And you got to kind of be watchful of that, okay? Because look what's up in the heart. You've got number 18 major, the moon. So this is the card of disillusionment. This is the card of maybe, telling yourself that everything's okay. Telling yourself that it's all right when like maybe it's not, right? And I'm sorry to be honest. I'm sorry to be the one to be like giving this message because, typically is 20 years of reading tarot off and on. I understand when there are people that are in denial about what they're going through because whatever they've been conditioned to, that level of inner strength or that show of strength and power has become so important to them. Coming to that point of acceptance that they need help or that they need to slow down and take a break is really there. All right. And if the moon is here up in the heart of hearts, it's saying, right, what you're working for, what is your ultimate goal here? Of course, you want the best for everybody in all situations, right? But are you kind of ending up a little bit like lonely? Or is it impossible for you to maybe meet new people, to go out dating because, you've put in all these other demands ahead of your own happiness? And now the heart is really asking you, like, are we ever going to be in love again? Are we ever going to find happiness again? And this is where the mind conflicts it, right? So part of you needs to really check in with yourself. Say, okay, where are we at? How am I feeling? And it's not really like dark night of the soul type stuff, but you may just need one night to release some emotion. You may just need to like cry it all out to a good friend, to an old friend, to maybe your mom or dad, get them on the phone and just let it all out. Just let it all go. An emotional release is what I'm seeing here with this moon card. Because I feel like, Leo, some of you are coming to a point of acceptance. And it doesn't mean you're defeated. You're not admitting defeat here. What you're admitting here is that you actually sometimes need to take a step back and actually recharge the batteries. All right? That's what it's saying. Nobody's got victorious or got you beaten down, right? So, and as well, what's going on here? As maybe some of you have gotten some bad advice about how you're spending your time or where to put to invest. This could be investments as well. Where to invest your time or what you should be doing with, things of this nature. You may still have exes. You may still be like dealing with feelings about back to the single parent, about the mother or the father of the child on the other side. There may be some disharmony, or maybe you guys aren't harmonious or as amicable as you could be, and you may feel like, oh man, well, everybody is suffering as a result, because I see pride being the main issue here, being the main source of contentions, because you want to talk about proud. We got Queen of Pentacles. She's one of the most proud in the deck, right? And when you're holding these 9 and 10 of Wands energy, these are just people that are so strong and then will just like continue to fight on even long after the battle's done, right? Sort of thing, right? So, and again, this is other people looking in on it. This is other people almost being suspect of you through this time, Leo, wondering what's going on with them? Why are they being the way they're being? Don't worry too much about it. You know yourself, right? I'm just saying there's certain things you can do. I want to make sure that you're feeling healthy, that you're feeling happy, because I have a feeling like this couple weeks in June, maybe you're not doing the things that you want to be doing because, maybe school's still in session, or, maybe we're still waiting another 6 to 8 weeks before our allotted vacation time. And it just feels like such a big struggle. While everybody seems to be out having fun, we've got responsibilities coming in left, right, and center, and there's nothing we can do about it, right? And it just could be grating on your nerves a little bit. So, not the best cards, but 9 of Wands, you guys are strong. You guys are fighting your way through it. So I'm okay with it so far. I just hopefully, that old Beatles song, you got to get by with a little help from your friends, right? Look at this, right? There is a diamond. There is a silver lining. There is a diamond, right? Here is the 2 of Cups in the communication, all right? So maybe when it's quiet time, maybe you can get on the phone or get on social media or whatever it is to have that chat with that person that really gets you turned on. Or maybe this is you and your lover sparking things up behind closed doors after we've put to bed all of the woes and the troubles of the day. You guys actually are finding comfort. You're finding bliss and enjoyment through romance and through talking to somebody, right? And it doesn't have to be like depending on whatever your situation is, whatever capacity this 2 of Cups energy is there for you in. Maybe you're texting with this person. Maybe you talk to them on the phone. Maybe you just talk to them online, right? You can allow a little bit of harmony and fantasy and enjoyment to play into your moments, right? And feeling good that way. As well, if there's somebody you're interested in, speak up, right? Be open, be accepting if somebody asks you out on a date, but you've got soccer practice, piano recital, you promised Jane that you would be over at 9:30 to do this other thing that don't be afraid to let that all go. Take a night to yourself and actually do go out on a date if romance comes and finds your way. But maybe you're not open to that because you viewed that your other responsibilities are just so etched in stone. They're so carved into a rock. And should we disobey one of those responsibilities, then the whole mountain will tumble down upon everybody and it will all be, right? We got to get out of that kind of thinking, being like, you know what, Janet, I can't come over to work on this, but you know what, I'm going to drop my kids off because remember that hunky guy we were looking at? He's coming over. He's going to take me out on a date, right? Or a girl, or them's or theirs. I I always call people out for making their readings gender specific, and then in true Hippocratic fashion, I end up doing it, right? But maybe that's just the majority where the energy ends up going, right? Okay, Leo. So this is good energy. This is 2 cups energy in your throat chakra, right? Let's talk to people. Let's play. Let's express our love. Even if it's at the end of the day, tucking the kids in, let's really get in touch with our feelings. Well, I think I remember it was the beginning of May when Leo had so much emotional stuff going on around them. And now, like, I want to make sure you guys are going to keep that going. Keep those lines of communication open. Stay open to the world. Stay open to the possibility of dating. I feel like I'm really speaking to singles now, people that are doing it on their own, right? Okay, Leo. What else do we got? We've got Knight of Pentacles up here. All right. So, yeah, this card always carries the energy of little ones with me, especially in this deck. But the slow-moving energy, right? So it is tough to envision the Bahamas, in 2 months' time, when maybe it's got to be 2 years from now, right, as we're saving. I've got Knight of Pentacles because, yeah, maybe, a new guitar and a new pair of basketball shoes, and it's not even for you, but it's running your bottom line down so that, you're feeling at a point where you're not very confident in dating maybe as much because, you're worried about the bank balance at the end of the day, right? Sort of things. 2 of Cups up in communication as well is an important reminder, Leo, I believe, just so that your listening and your speaking is balanced out. Sometimes, Leo, I feel when you guys get stressed, you have an ability to just talk your way out of things or talk your way into things, right? A lot of times where maybe we have to play into more of the social cues. Be aware how other people are reacting to us so that we can get hints about where we are at so that we're not further diluting ourselves with the Moon card being there, okay? Just an extra point I had with that 2 of Cups. Don't like to travel backwards. But Knight of Pentacles, yeah, we want what's best, especially if we got little ones that we're taking care of. Sometimes, it requires us to be so entirely selfless. We give 110% because we do everything in our power so that our children can have the best possible life that they can have in front of them. And that's to be commended. That's your pat on the back, Leo. That now I can see is the reason why you don't give a fuck at the end of the day if you're just fall down on the bedroom floor and you can't, make it the last 2 steps to bed. But you know in your heart that you've done right by the universe, by your children, by that, right? But let's rely on help if it's there, okay? All right. Up one more, Knight of Swords reverse. So things are really grinding to a halt here. If you guys do not take a break, the universe is going to give you one, all right? This is energy in from source, and this is pineal gland. And when you got these 2 knights like this, you got the slowest moving energy in the deck when it's upright, and then you have the fastest moving energy in the court deck, and it's reversed. So this is saying, urge, this is going to be put the brakes on. If you don't take a spa day, if you don't slow down, if you don't take maybe a mental health day, then the universe is going to create something. Well, I don't know, it could be whatever, right? But it's going to be something where it's maybe you catch a cold. And I don't like to be the tarot reader that says you're going to catch a cold. But you know what? It's that kind of energy to say, all right, if you're blinding yourself, if you're diluting to the situation that you're wearing yourself too thin, something's got to give. Something will eventually break, right? And that's what that Knight of Swords, what that moving through that element of mind and communication is all about, right? It's how are we talking to ourselves? I got to keep going. I got to keep doing it. I have to do it. I have to do it, right? Well, what the heck, right? Is fire and brimstone going to fall from the sky if you don't, right? What happens if you tell your manager that you can't make it in on Monday because of XYZ, right? You're going to fall off the edge of the earth, right? There's that kind of energy. So, Leo, I'm sorry to deliver this reading the way I've had to deliver it, but these have been kind of some stick in the mud type cards, right? And I won't lie about it because this is your powerhouse here, all right? Communication. Let's talk, let's listen, let's feel with ourselves and with the people around us, right? If other people are telling us what's up with you, I don't understand what's going on with you lately, then maybe we need to take heed to those messages, right? Maybe we need to like allow others to like tell us what they're thinking and what they're feeling, right? So that we can get a clear sense. Like, okay, maybe we've been a little bit too much tunnel vision, too much of a narrow focus, right? And years go by, and you wake up, and you're like, oh my goodness, like all these people, the messages, the things they were trying to tell me all along, I didn't take heed back then, and then as hindsight's always 2020. All right. You've got card number 18, Magic Stream, up from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. That's a beautiful card. I don't know if I've ever had that card up, excuse me, from Enchanted Map. So what we see there is like just kind of a stream that appears out of nowhere, right? Oh, there you go. And truth be told. Okay, so here we go. With the honesty, I didn't see too much cards of like lie and betrayal and like truth being hidden and coming out like I did with most signs. But maybe what truth be told is here, we need to find a place of rejuvenation and regeneration, Leo. The lion can only chase after the hyena for so long before it has to like absolutely stop. And like you see it on National Geographic, it like gives up for a few minutes and it catches its breath, and then boom, it's off again chasing after that hyena or that gazelle or whatever. So these oracle cards are truly saying we need to be honest with ourselves when it's time to rejuvenate, when it's time to recharge the battery, when it's time to tell everybody you're going to have to figure out lunch for yourself today, or, you're going to have to take your turn, taking on this, right? So, and just retreat into that sanctuary. Find whatever it is that rejuvenates you, whatever it is that puts the pep in your step, whatever it is that turns your crank, floats your boat. You got to put that back inside of you every once in a while, because you've been using it. That's your go-to. As you use it, you use it, you use it, and it depletes. So I really want to make sure you guys are being honest with yourself. You're taking the time to rejuvenate so that you can keep going with all these demands, right? And don't worry, right? If the heart is tricking yourself, if you're worried about being in love, if you're worried about being as life as fulfilling as it possibly can be, and that maybe it's dharmic that you're trapped in these situations, right? Just don't worry about it. Just know like that everything comes and goes in life, and even if it's a couple years down the road, right? Even if you're coming to like another spring where it's like, I wish I could just escape, just drive across the country, leave the kids with the grandparents, and just disappear for a while. Just kind of know, like, that time for you will come. It's just may not be right now. So we have to take the little breaks. We have to take the small spa days to get those batteries recharged. And we can't be disillusioned about how low our energy is, or how far off, how trapped we're actually feeling, when if we get back down into the here and now, we can really feel like the fact that we can take charge of this destiny, right? We're not feeling as faded. We're not feeling as, powerless or kind of stuck under the wheel, so to speak, as it like goes around and keeps, hitting us on the top of the head. At one point we get up on top of it, and then we're really driving to a place of our own destiny. Okay, I babbled on a little bit there for a while, Leo, but I feel like there's just, I could say that same message a million different ways, and hopefully everybody that clicks in and views it will take something from it. All right, know that I love you all, and we'll see you next time.